Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome to my monthly series, Should You Start Playing Dissidia Opera Omnia? Insert month here, and this time around we're gonna be talking about should you start playing Opera Omnia in December 2019. Now, just a gently reminder, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button and leave a like on this video as well if you do enjoy the content that I make on this channel. There is a new goal now that I have reached the 1,000 subscriber goal. The new goal is 1,200 subscribers by the end of the year, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And one last thing before we do start this video, I will leave a link in the description below regarding lingos or terms that we use in Dissidia Opera Omnia, which I made quite a while back, but I still think still applies. And if you're fairly new to Dissidia Opera Omnia and you don't really get what I'm saying in these videos, please check that video out and you would have a fair idea of what's happening. And for those people who are waiting for the part 2 of that video, I am still working on it. There's just a lot of different things that are coming out, and I am limited with my time into recording and editing videos. I am trying my best. Honestly, there's like a lot of things going on with Opera Omnia that is really hard for me to sit down and do something else on the side, but hopefully I can get that out as soon as I can. I don't know when, but I am still working on a lot of different videos, and hopefully, yeah, I can get that done pretty soon. Anyway guys, let's start this video because there's a lot to go through for December 2019. Okay guys, so we'll start off with a older event that we already know that's coming, which is Ultimecia's Event. Now, I actually mentioned this in my previous video. Well, because Ultimecia's Event is extending to December, I decided to add it here as well. So for this particular event, we do get a free multi-draw, which is a very nice, and for obviously for new players who have limited amount of gems just yet and they haven't finished a lot of the content to get all the gems that they want, this is a blessing. And of course, if you're a veteran player, this is also count as a blessing. So for this particular banner, we do get Ultimecia's EX 15 and 35 CP alongside with Squall's EX 15 and 35 CP. And also in this banner, we do get Pain's 15 and 35 CP. And just as added information, which I will now do all the time, you can EX plus Ultimecia's EX weapon, and you can also do so with Squall's EX weapon. So 2 EX pluses you can do here if you have max limit broken their EX weapon. Now, since I haven't actually done any EX plus video, I will leave a link down to BroadWaySaiyan's video and his video guide into, you know, getting into EX plus. It's basically just an enhanced version of the EX weapon, so that's the TLDR of that. Okay, moving forward to December 2, we get the Winter Festival. Now, in all honesty, I'm not really sure if we're getting any banners for this particular Winter Festival, and for new players, there's really not much here. However, there are a ton of rewards that I would like to mention very quickly. So for the winter panel missions, which is the Chocobo missions, we do get quite a lot of gems and ingots and nuggets and pages, which you can use to EX plus your weapon. So, you know, I don't think this will be a very hard content to to clear, especially as all the characters are boosted on this one. Plus we do get extra daily missions, which you can get rewards, so you get like crystals, armor tokens, and powers tokens as well. So it's really nice, and I just like to quickly put it here because it is an incentive for a new player to come and play, especially if there are like seasonal events. Okay, moving on to the next slide. An incentive for new players to come and play if one of your favorite characters is featured here. It's basically the level 70 Crystal Awakening Batch 5. So in this one we do get Kuja, Zidane, Rydia, Lena, and Palom. I always get Palom and Porum confused, but I do believe it's Palom. And of course Lilith here is here as well, and including here there are like gem and costume bundles. We do get a global first, which is for Lena's costume here, so that's really nice, but probably for a new player, probably not much of an incentive there since you have to pay to get it. But in any case, if Lena is one of your favorites, then there is an alternate costume for her. As for the banners, there are 2 featured banners for this one, and each banner will have 2 EX weapon included in them. The first one is Kuja, and Lilith's EX is featured in one of the banners alongside with Palom's 35 and 15 CP. And of course Kuja and Lilith's 15 and 35 is also featured in this banner, and they get their EX plus as well, so they get their realized weapon. If you have max limit broken them, you can realize them and improve them altogether. Just to let you guys know as well, this is the very first time that they are featuring Lilith's EX weapon, so it is a debut for this EX weapon. Now for the second banner, it has Zidane and Lena's EX 15 and 35 CP alongside Rydia's 15 and 35 CP. Unfortunately, Zidane and Lena will not have their EX plus weapon realized in this particular wave. It will be later on. Now, out of all these 4 different characters which have their EX weapon featured, I was a pretty big fan of Lilith when she first came out. I really liked that how she was a brave battery and flat out the buffer at that, and well, I guess it's a personal bias, but I'll probably be trying to get Lilith's EX weapon here. Kuja is actually a pretty decent character. He will get a rework, which will make him much more powerful as well. So if you're a new player and you're looking for a magic DPS, Kuja is probably a decent pickup for you, especially if you missed out on Ultimecia, and of course if you missed out last month, Ace got his EX plus weapon as well. So in any case, those are the 2 big ones here. It's going to be Kuja and Lilith. Okay, moving forward, again on December 9 we will be getting a permanent I suppose content, which is going to be Agrius Lost Chapter. So if you're a fan of Agrius, you can get Agrius straight away. You just have to go to the Lost Chapter tab, and I do believe you can get her straight away now. I am not sure, because when I played JP before, they were locked onto like different chapters. You have to finish a certain chapter before you can actually go to the Lost Chapter, but I believe in global it's all free to get, so it doesn't matter where you are on the story quests. As long as you have finished the tutorial, you'll be able to actually grab Agrius straight away. So for the banner for this one is going to be featured obviously Agrius EX weapon and Ferris EX weapon, and of course their 15 and 35 will be here as well, and including here is Ash's 15 and 35 CP weapon. Now just to let you guys know, of course the returning EX weapon here is going to be Agrius, and the new EX weapon that is going to be featured is Ferris's. Now a lot of people are pretty hyped up over Agrius, and so is Ferris to a certain extent. A lot of people are a big fan of Ferris, so if you are a big fan of these 2 girls, then you probably want to pull for this one, especially for Agrius. Agrius is actually a pretty good unit to get. And overall, she has some paralysis, a couple of nice gimmicks as well, good brave battery, decent DPS, and she can silence as well. This is one of her other kit, so she's a pretty hyped up character and will definitely help you clear the harder contents of the game. However, I'm not sure as to how good she is in terms of just, you know, farming like story quests, like moving on with the story quest. Obviously she'll be able to kill. I don't know how fast though. So usually when I think of story content, like clearing them, you just want to clear it as fast as you can, and I'm not sure how Agrius is in that department, because she will be getting a rework on this one, and I haven't really looked into her rework just yet, but she will be getting a rework, and so is Faris, I believe. So these are pretty good characters to get. Okay, moving on in the same slide, we are going to be getting Machina's event. So he's a new character that's coming out on December 13 to December 27. So you got about 2 weeks to grab Machina, and for his banner, obviously he has his EX 15 and 35 CP featured in it, and a returning EX weapon would be Rems, which is including her 15 and 35 CP as well. And in this banner, you'll have the chance to get 15 and 35 CP for Sid in Final Fantasy VII. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, not a lot of hype for Machina. I actually don't know much about him as well, because I never really played Type O that much. I only played the first, hour or two of Type O, and I put it down and never really got back into it. So I don't really know who Machina is, so I can't really tell you guys how good he is. I haven't really looked into that, that far forward, but I don't really hear good things about him. For the most part, a lot of people are actually going to be pulling for Rem's EX weapon if you haven't gotten it already. If you're a new player, Rem is actually a pretty decent support character. She can manipulate turns by giving her turn to other characters, and therefore, giving them a brave battery there as well. And I do believe she will get a rework for this one as well, so she'll be a lot more powerful. Okay, let's move on to the next slide, which is going to be Act 2 Chapter 6 on December 19. There's not really a lot of incentive for new players here. Obviously, this is way far ahead in the story quest. However, we do get a banner for this one, and the first multi-draw is again free for this one. So if you're a fan of Final Fantasy XIV, this is a chance for you to get a lot of their weapons. So in here, the new character that is featured is going to be Lise, and I hope you guys know who that is, because I don't really want to do any more spoilers than that. So she will be getting her EX 15 and 35 CP with this one, alongside with Ishtola's returning EX weapon, and of course her 15 and 35 CP as well. And we do get Alice's 15 and 35 CP on this banner as well. Now, as for EX Plus, the 2 featured characters obviously will get their EX Plus on this one. And I did forget to mention, but in Machina's event, obviously he gets his EX Plus, and you can EX Plus Rem's EX weapon there as well. So in here, it's Lise and Ishtola. Honestly, this is a banner a lot of people will be pulling for more for Ishtola if they haven't gotten that already, because Ishtola is actually a pretty decent support character. And between Rem and Ishtola, I think a lot more people are willing to pull for Ishtola because of her kit with her EX Plus. She just gets insanely good, and she can actually revive your characters as well. So that is the biggest upside to Ishtola, and that's why a lot of people are actually wanting to pull for Ishtola, and probably saving some of their gems for her rather than Rem. So anyway, let's move forward. Okay, so on December 23, we will be getting finally Locke's permanent Lost chapter. We sort of got like a semi-Lost chapter slash character event last month, I believe. I want to say when we got the last story update, which is kind of weird, but anyway, it's now going to be permanent. And of course, with this Lost chapter, we will be getting a new banner alongside with this Lost chapter. So the banner that we're going to be getting will be featuring Locke's and Celeste's EX weapon alongside with their 15 and 35, and alongside them will be 15 and 35 for Setzer. So a lot of you will probably pass on this one. However, Celeste is a pretty decent tank. She's more of a magic tanker, so all the magic attacks she can absorb. So she will be getting her rework for this one as well, so she will be a little bit more powerful and a little bit more viable. And as always, the two featured EX here can be EX Plus or can be realized. So if you're a fan of Locke and Celeste, this is probably a very good banner for you. Locke is actually not a very like hyped up character, and honestly he tends to be benched quite a lot, so I'm not entirely sure how effective he will be. He's pretty good at clearing early mobs, especially if you're going through the story quests. With his Phoenix Ray is a AoE Brave plus HP attack, so that's really nice if you want to clear out those stories with just pressing one button. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He does heal and stuff as well, but he did get a recent rework, so he probably won't be getting a rework for this one as far as I'm aware. But yeah, he's just decent, just you know, not amazing. So he's a decent character, but not amazing. Now let's take a look at the last event that we will be getting for December, which is this shadowed character, and it's not a real big surprise. It is going to be Bosch. So this is the very first time that Bosch will be featured in Dissidia Opera Omnia. So if you're a big fan of Final Fantasy XII, well, here you go. Bosch is here, and I know he has a lot of fans. He will be a tank type character. He will be tanking like AoE attacks, which is kind of unique in tanking terms anyway. So if you like Bosch, in the banner it will be his, I can't talk, his weapons are going to be featured. So his EX 15 and 35 CP will be featured in this banner alongside with Vaughn's EX 15 and 35 CP as well, and with Sarah's 15 and 35 CP. Now again, the EX Plusable weapons will be the two featured EX here. EX weapon, which is Bosch and Vaughn's, and Vaughn will also get a rework, hopefully making him a little bit more viable right now. In all honesty, Vaughn has been benched really badly. He only really gets it going at the start of every era, and then after that he just sort of fades away. The biggest thing with Vaughn is his downfall really is he is locked to a lot of different elements. So if a boss is, you know, resistant to a particular element, he's just not going to be useful. So that's why a lot of Vaughn fans are pretty disappointed, because a lot of the times he is not viable. However, obviously if he can take advantage of any weaknesses, then he is very viable. It's just one of those things that he's stuck to a couple of elements that really slows him down, if even just one of them, you know, the boss is resistant to. So one final thing as well, that in the right bottom corner here it says the first multi-draw is free for, and this is for both banners. So if you're a new player, this is definitely an incentive for you to come and pick up, and you know, you might get the EX weapon straight away. You never know. It is all up to RNGesus, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the month of December. Okay, so we're finally at the end of this video, and of course I will give you guys my final thoughts on should you start playing Dissidia Opera Omnia in December 2019. Now, in all honesty, if I'm going to compare this to November was actually a much better way to start your playthrough with Opera Omnia, and even before that, even October was actually better with the start of the EX token. Now, there are obviously some information here that I've withheld, only because it doesn't really affect a new player. So in terms of that, it's Ends of Dimension, which is another really hard content, which you can get some EX tokens, and you can use those EX tokens to grab you know, an EX weapon that you might not have. So I didn't put that here only because it is not very new player friendly, and most of the new players will probably just, you know, skip that through, because if you're, imagine having only like 2 or 3 really good characters, you can't really go through the Ends of Dimension. So yeah, so comparing this from last month, I think last month was actually a better month to start Opera Omnia. The biggest incentive in a lot of the things in December is really a lot of free multi-draws, because of obviously the holidays. They are giving a lot of free multi-draws, which you can get some couple of EX weapon, or maybe even like their full kit if you're really lucky. So as far as characters go, there are still quite a few characters that are really interesting. Obviously, Ultimecia is still there. She is still part of December's characters events, so I do highly recommend you try and get Ultimecia. Now, if I'm gonna pick my top 3 events for December, it would have to be Ultimecia at first, Agrius Lost Chapter second, and probably story content as third, because of the banner for Ishtola. Those are my top 3 picks for the events. The Crystal Awakening is nice, but overall I feel like these 3 are the ones to look out for. In all honesty, you know, starting in November would have probably been better, because it was the start of the EX Plus era. We had Cloud, which is a very good character. Now, obviously, Ultimecia is partway through November and December, so that's fine. We do get Ultimate Leviathan for Kryl. She's actually a pretty good character that I honestly enjoyed playing. I was really surprised when I got her EX and decided to, you know, invest a little bit of my resources on her. She's actually a pretty fun character to play. And obviously, Charlotta is one of the biggest releases, since she was the last one before the EX Plus era started, in the Chaos era. So she's, you know, she's still great, one of the best support characters that we have. And of course, Warrior of Light and Garland, I guess you'll be picking Warrior of Light for that one. You can cheese a lot of fights thanks to Warrior of Light, and I can probably go on and on, but overall, if I'm gonna rank this, am I gonna rank it above November? Probably not. I probably rank this a little bit lower than that. And, you know, I'm not saying don't play Dissidia Opera Omnia, but really, if you started last month, it was a much better set of characters that came out. So in here, there's a lot of side characters, and yeah, if you're not a big fan of those, you know, if it's not the main protagonist, it's really hard for the general public to, you know, get hyped up. But in any case, that's what I think. Those are my final thoughts for December 2019. Not the greatest, but still decent to start playing Opera Omnia, and it's mainly because of a lot of the free draws. I haven't mentioned anything regarding paying like for resources like gems and such. There are a lot of sales that are going to be happening. I didn't mention those because, I mean, if you're a new player, you're really not going to put a lot of money on this game just yet until you know, feel like, you know, it's worth your money. Any case, guys, that's it for this video. Please remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. The new goal is 1,200 subscribers by the end of the year, so hopefully we can get there. So if you haven't, you know, every click on that subscribe button is definitely going to help, and clicking the like button just helps me with YouTube algorithm. And I hope you guys didn't mind that I sort of really generalize a lot of things here, like what's the hype character, is there a good character. I didn't really want to go too much into detail about a lot of the EX Plus and what they actually do, because I think that this video will go for an hour if I do that, and I cover those EX Pluses and those EX Pluses. I don't really cover reworks, but I cover those EX Pluses during my Should You Pull videos now. So if you wait for those videos, then you will have a general idea, a much better idea how well those characters do with their EX Plus weapon. Yeah, so I do apologize that I just didn't want this video to be too long. I'm trying to compact everything. Last month was over 30 minutes, so this time around we're hitting about 25-26 minutes, so that's an improvement in my book. Anyway, make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. I am on those social medias at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.